Um, my first one is going to be, even though I don't play the game anymore. I
This
don't
guy.
want to say anymore. I don't play the game often,
Hmm.
right? And Gio just asked me 2 days
Yes, I
ago.
did. Yes, I did. You gave me the same answer you've been giving me for like 10 years.
That is true, but
It's
that's
all good. I
consistent and
understand.
being
I got it.
honest though.
Yeah,
That's
right. And I
I'm being
understand. I
yeah.
did my part. I'll ask once and then I'll leave it alone.
No, you should keep asking because it's not final, right?
Right. It's always
So,
changing.
but I will say, John Madden and Pat Summerall was one of my favorites uh announcers to
Is
me.
that a combination, right? Them
It's
together?
yes, they have to
Hmm.
be together. You can't have one without the other. John Madden and Pat Summerall was one of my favorites. I think one of the best uh games that I enjoyed, it was always when they do Dallas Cowboys. And I was a
Yeah.
Dallas Cowboys fan at that time with Emmitt Smith, Michael Irvin, Novacek, Joe Aikman, Harper, Woodson. Oh
Hmm.
my God, Charles Haley, Ken Norton. Man, I can tell you the entire team, brother.
Yeah.
And when John Madden used to do those games, man, especially when they played Cowboys would play the Cardinals, man. It's one of my favorites. Commentate just because John Madden with the booms and through your ear holes,
Yeah.
and that wasn't just in Madden football. He would actually say those things in real life, right? Watching a real game. So I'm definitely 100%. I got to go with John Madden. Pat Summerall is on my list, so I'll say that. What about you, Jay? You got one, or do you want me to go all three?
No, I'll go. It is the same. So since you mentioned Madden, because I'm a
Ooh,
big Madden fan, right? So, but even more to touch up on some of the things that you didn't. Yeah, we're talking about announcers, but you know how great John Madden was. Like he played the sport as an offensive lineman, right? And then won championships. Went and played as a coach, or was a coach for the Raiders. Won a championship, right? So like when he was pretty well like known as a player. He was big. He was a story I remember somebody saying about him where like this is like the 60s or something like that, right? 70s. And he went and to try out for the Cowboys or whatever. They didn't have pants that fit this man. Nowadays they do because like they know, right? But this is the
right.
60s, 70s, and they were just like large is large. If you can't fit in that, I don't know what to tell you. Go get a blanket. So like he was a huge offensive lineman, and then he was smart because offensive linemen are smart. So and then he found his way into coaching and became successful there. And then in announcing, like you said, the booms, the pows, the color commentation. It was nothing like. I remember being 16 and watching it, and it was just like it was pure entertainment.
Mm-hmm.
He would go off on it, especially God help you, and this is why I'm like the color commentator for this pick for us is I remember him talking about players that were doing this trick where they would put Vaseline on their jerseys and wear tight jerseys so you can't grab them.
Right.
You wouldn't know that if John Madden didn't tell us that.
Yeah.
Like that the only person that was as close to that, and not to skip ahead, but he may not be on the list, is Tony Romo. Did it in the way of they came out in this package, expect this receiver to go that way. That's why. But John Madden, not just a game. He was a great man. Rest in peace. He did great things.
Yeah, I'm with you on that, man. Yeah. What was it called? They said they used to spray the stuff on the jersey where you can't
Yeah.
hold on
Yeah.
to it. I was like, wait, what? I
Yeah.
thought that was
The
a
slip.
joke when I heard that, but it
They
was a thing.
glue for the gloves. The defense would wear the glue for that. Like it was all kinds of craziness. But John Madden would tell you this.
That's true, man. All right.
So
So it's top three. So that was my first. Your first is you got John
yes.
Madden in there as well.
Mhm. Yep.
My second one would be Den Stevens and Peter O'Keefe on NFL 2K5. Like if you guys played 2K5 football, man, with the Peter O'Keefe, there were like, to me, Peter O'Keefe, he was like I'm trying to put it in a different way. He's like John Madden of 2-on-2 basketball, if that makes sense. Like an and
Yeah.
one basketball. Like they were over the top, like over the
Yeah.
top with their the way they go from low to high and Peter O'Keefe, some of the stuff he used to say, like it's so hard to to like for you to guys understand and feel it unless you play the game. But there were some moments in when you play that game. It's why I love that game because
Mhm.
the commentating is an add-on. It's it brings you into the game, right?
Yeah, it's part of
And
the presentation, right? So like,
this man brought out NBA jams. I knew somebody was going to say it, but yeah, it's hard to talk about Peter O'Keefe and Dan Stevens unless you play it. Like John Madden, we know, right? You know, this is a guy who actually played the game and was a coach. He's a legend. But Stevens and Peter O'Keefe is one of my guys too, man. So 2K5 still one of my favorite football games. Yeah, those are my two. Who you got for number two?
oh man, there's some that I think we mentioned some of O'Keefe's that's a game one, so that's a little different. But obviously the Madden, if someone was to guess, they'd be like yes. There's a couple other names that we would name out there that people would go yes, of course. This one, I think some people would say this person, but he's also an analyst too, but did a lot of commentating. Chris Collinsworth.
Yes,
Chris Collinsworth was also a player, right?
yes.
He played well. He had actually a really good career. He's been known to have a really good. He played with really good teams. Won a championship with. I don't want to butcher that.
Bengals.
All,
Yep.
was it the Bengals? Yes. Yeah,
Bengals.
the Bengals. Yeah. And Chris Collinsworth is just. I don't know. He has a way of when he does commentating that for me, just I could just turn it off and I could just listen to it. He
Yeah.
just had a really good way of doing that. So like, he did it in a couple other sports, but I
Yeah.
think Chris Collins.
I didn't like him at first.
You like it? Man. Oh, at first.
No, at first I didn't like him, but after it's like, all right, this is a dude who's like he's excited because you could tell he's smiling the whole freaking time he's
Yeah.
talking. He's smiling, and you could tell he loves the game. I didn't like him at first, and then I was like, I actually
Yeah.
do like him, man. He's just smiling, having a good time. He's like,
He's one that's been doing it a long friggin' time.
yeah,
You know what I mean?
yeah, that's
Um,
true, man. I'm trying to,
like guys like, James Brown, but he's not a commentator, but he's an analyst. Remember back in the day it was just him and Chris Berman. You know what I mean?
oof.
And it's just great, And that Chris Berman's
Hey, listen, if you watch any of my if you go to CV Tech 1 and you watch my reaction videos, a couple of times I'm like whoop whoop. I'm like people
yeah,
probably won't even pick up on. I'm like
exactly.
whoop.
Like if you watched football in the late 90s and if I said he could go, you know what I mean? You already know what's going on. Yeah. So it's just one of those things. That was his way of
The
doing it.
Raiders. Anyway.
But yeah, so Chris Collinsworth, shout out, he's still out there
Yeah.
doing great things.
That's a good one though, because like I thought about Collins. I was just like, man, I was not a fan. And then now I'm just like, all right, he better, that's my guy. So I watch my Sunday night football, man.
I'm gonna say before you say anything, I don't know, but you picked how many people so far? 1, 2.
I did 2. So I did Madden and
and then you did O'Keefe. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm curious for your third one, and it's going to be one of two. It's going to be one of 2 people, and I'll let you go.
Okay, I will say this. So even if what I'm about to say is not your 2 that you're thinking about, they're part of my mentions. I guarantee it, because I have like 3. I was just like,
Yeah.
All right.
Ahead, what you got?
Some people may not know unless you actually play the game. This is from a video game from Fight Night. It is Joe Tessitore and Teddy Atlas. I love those.
Made the game, and it was,
bro.
I mean,
it's
the game
hard
was great.
to understand.
The game made the game, but
at least Teddy Atlas does real boxing, and he's amazing. Yeah. And the way he does it, the way he speaks, and the way he talks about boxing, you're like, this dude breathes and loves boxing. It's like that's all he does. And when you play Fight Night, which is probably one of the greatest, I don't even want to say it's the greatest boxing game ever, because that's understatement. I mean, as far as sports, it's one of the greatest sports game ever. So Teddy Atlas, man, and I just love him in Fight Night, and I still play it to this day. I'm like, did he just say that? Did he just say what I just did? Mm-hmm. And to me, it blows my mind because he's spot on, right on it. So I will say that. So that's my guy, man. Teddy Atlas and Joe uh, Tessitore.
That's the tour. Yeah,
I love
I
those
remember
guys.
that.
So
I just remember hours of fight night, and then that would just be in my head. You know what I mean? You know what I
heck,
remember the most is when you get knocked out and you're trying to stand up and you hear them. It's like, brother, I'm trying to survive out of here. No, it's great. That's pretty good.
do you got one more or not?
Yeah, I do. This one's an old one. A lot of
Oh.
people that younger than that aren't really like into that stuff may not know, but it's in boxing commentator. It's Howard Cosell. Old school. A lot of people may know him going back and forth and bantering with Muhammad Ali, and they made it seem like they were not friends, that it was adversarial relationship in nature, but it was couldn't be more further from the truth. He kept challenging. Um, Howard Cosell would constantly challenge Muhammad Ali, knowing that Muhammad Ali had the potential to like shut him up, right? And that when Muhammad Ali did that whole like open mouth, like when he won, Howard Cosell, he was doing that for Howard Cosell to some degree. You know what I mean? Because
Mm,
they had just done an interview. So, because he shocked the world, he said he would. So Howard Cosell, great. Again, he was, I mean, he's from like he was born like 1918 or something like that, died in 1995. So he's from way back, right? Especially for the young folks like Mud out there. But but hey, cats go back. Wait, we hit y'all too. This is the one place you subscribe and you get attacked.
Hey, Mud, he said young man. See, he went the
Yeah,
opposite. You ain't old, brother.
yeah, you ain't old man. But Howard Cosell was another one where when he was commentating, it was before TV. So the way that he had to commentate was to paint the picture. And even when TV came, people often preferred to just listen to him because it was better. And so it's
Mm.
great about it. So Howard
Nah, he
Cosell.
he was good, man. And I watch a lot of boxing highlights, and yeah, man, and him talking, his interviews, um, and you know what it is too. That old microphone back in the
That
day
right.
just fits him. It's
The
just like,
quality of the sound and the way
yeah,
that he
man,
delivered it. Absolutely. And in every movie, that's how you see every movie you see from that era, the commentator sounds like him.
yeah,
And that's why.
it's true, it's
That's how
true.
you know you're great. They're like, oh, we need someone to sound like Howard Cosell. That do that. Yeah, that's what's great.
Yo, okay. As you were talking about Howard Cosell, I wrote a name down, and I'm serious. I wrote a name down just as you said that. So
Don't do it.
I do have some mentions though, right?
Okay.
And we probably don't have to touch up on it at all because we're already at the 1 hour. We're gonna call it, but I just want to say a couple of names real quick. The name that I just wrote down. It just dawned on me when you said Cosell.
Yeah.
Jim Ross from WWE. That dude. If
Hmm.
anybody, do yourself a favor, look up Jim Ross and the way he commentated the with the King, Jerry King Lawler, Jerry the King.
Lawler.
Let me
Yeah.
just say the King.
King Lawler. Yeah. Yep. Right.
It
Yeah.
is classic. Like the stuff that he would say, it would be weird to say in today's TV. When he used to say the rattlesnake, that son of a bitch. Like I'm like, what? I'm a kid going, what is this guy talking about? So let me tell you guys something. Do yourself a favor, look up Jim Ross, and Gio, you as well. And I know when you get on YouTube later at night, bro, you look up Jim Ross, you're gonna thank me tomorrow. It is the greatest and most amazing.
All right. Hold it.
Jim Ross is he could easily been on my list. I'll say that easily.
Right.
But let me just throw a couple names and then we'll move on. Aqib Talib, the
Never heard.
cornerback, bro.
Oh, as a commentator. Yeah.
Man, he sounds like Little Wayne when he's commentating. I'll say it's a little ghettoish. I love it because it just hits me. You want to laugh
It's the
and hear
same dude
some real
snatching. That's
stuff?
the chain snatcher, right?
The chain
Same.
snatcher, bro. You want to hear some real stuff during football games? That's the guy because he doesn't commentate from a football um, point of view. He does it from I play that position. That guy would never cut this ball if I just jam him this way, this way. I'm like, what? Like so he is amazing. And also Marv Albert, Troy Aikman, Tony Romo. Mark Jackson, Jeff Van Gundy with football, and one that I rest in peace. And this man made me laugh. Tommy Heinsohn that does a Celtics game. I love Walter and all that stuff, man. If you're a Celtics fan and you watch Celtics game, you would 100% understand. So,
Mm.
yeah, that's pretty much it. Gio, I don't know if you want to end it here or you want to give your suggestion and call it.
Yeah,
I don't have one for this
yeah.
week.
No,
I'll save mine for
I
next
want to
week.
throw the suggestion out there, but real quick, couple of honorable mentions for me for that. Pat
Sure.
Summerall, because you said Al Michaels or Pat Summerall before.
I said Pass them all and John Madden. I put them together.
Right. So
Oh yeah,
Al Michaels would be the other one, right?
true, true.
And then you got Dick Vitale, college football.
Oh my
Who
God,
championship, baby? Like you can't. You know what
I
I
don't know
mean?
how I didn't
That's
even
why I
think
got.
of
That's
that.
why I had to tie it back in. I was like, we cannot say, can't not say.
Dickie
Dick
V,
Vitale.
baby. I don't know how I
So-
did not. Wow. Whew.
Yeah, Dick Vitale's a good one.
Oh, I will say this. Listen, the only reason I did not mention any soccer at all, because Mud, you have to understand, soccer is life to me. Like it. Listen, soccer and fishing is all I knew. Okay. The only reason I didn't say any soccer is I'm like, I don't think people will know who it is, and it's just be like,
Hey,
So I left them out. So
I got one question. That commentator in soccer that yells goal, is that one guy or they go to a school for this? Do they go to school? Like you have to say it for a minute long or you don't graduate.
it's
'Cause
one
I think it's the
guy.
same guy.
It's one
For
guy,
10
one breath.
years.
One
It's
guy,
like-
one breath, man.
Because I swear for years it was the same guy. I was like, it's
I-
25 years later. There's no
I
way his
think-
lungs are still strong.
I think he does swimming lessons to practice the goal.
Yeah.
Like you can't go for that long. Like who does
He
that?
holds his breath for 5 minutes just to be able to say it. I like it. I like the dedication. I appreciate it.
No, he's good too, though. He's good, man. Mud, believe me, man. You should check out CV Tech One on YouTube, man. I'm going to be doing a lot of F1 racing in football reaction video. So check my channel out, man, if you can.